major buses warn you about. But if you're north on the 17 coming through the cloud, north of the 60, you say your Chavez off-ramp, there was a problem on the off-ramp. It's been taken off the off-ramp on a surface street. There's a lot of sheriff's cars there, so just be careful. You can use the off-ramp, but you'll see there's a lot of activity once you get on the surface street itself. Now, back down the valley earlier, westbound 101 around DeSoto, West Ventura Freeway. A bunch of the right lanes were blocked. It's clearing right now. Now, the backups are kind of going away, as they call it, slow but steady to move the freeway. Northbound where Cedar Boulevard. You came through the Guanica Pass. Want to warn you again about Hollywood Boulevard. Still shut down. Here's the movie premiere. I think that's supposed to clear tomorrow, but right now it's closed from Island out through Orange, almost to the play. So delays there. South Hollywood, South okay, northbound. We just came up over LA City Hall, which is turned into a MMA version, I think, late, but the northbound 101 traffic has slowed the corner. After that, you'll be okay. Enormous problem for the northbound 605 in Washington. A whole bunch of lanes blocked. Solid back up 105. A lot more on this one. Coming up. Up KFI in the sky.
If you have Medicare and Medi-Cal, you could get more with Anthem Blue Cross, like a $0 premium Medicare Advantage plan that includes medical, hospital, and prescription drug coverage, plus more than $5,000 per year in benefits like dental, vision, hearing, and over-the-counter supplies. That's more than $5,000 in benefits just for you. Call 866-336-1895 now to get more than $5,000 in extra benefits with an Anthem Medicare plan. That's 866-336-1895. Call 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week. For complete details of coverage and limitations, please contact your agent with a health plan. Anthem Blue Cross Partnership Plan is an HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the California Medicaid program. Enrollment in Anthem Blue Cross Partnership Plan depends on contract renewal. Anthem Blue Cross is the trade name for Blue Cross of California. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Cross of California Partnership Plan, Inc. are independent licenses of the Blue Cross Association. Anthem is a registered trademark of Anthem Insurance Company, Inc.
Having repairs done in your apartment should never come with strings attached, like being harassed and constantly pressured for sexual favors.
My landlord told me my rent would be free if I gave him something in exchange.
The Fair Housing Act protects you from harassment by anyone associated with your housing, including someone making unwelcome sexual advances. If this happens to you, file a complaint with HUD. No strings attached. To learn more, visit HUD.gov/fair-housing. If you fear for your safety, call 911. A public service message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
How would you like to be driving a Tesla Model 3 next year without swallowing the $50,000 price tag? And I'm not talking about a lease either. I'm Scott Baker, CEO of Autonomy, where you can subscribe to a Tesla Model 3 for just $450 a month. EV subscription is cheaper than leasing, guaranteed, and it only requires a 3-month demo. Get details at autonomy.com. After 12 months, practice limited by offer, not holiday.
American Vision Windows, SoCal's choice for energy-efficient windows and doors. AmericanVisionWindows.com.
KFI.
More stimulating thoughts.
An iHeart radio station.
Today, the part of Bill Handel will be played by not Bill Handel. I mean, it's a show, so see the difference. And now, here's not Bill Handel. AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. It is the Bill Handel Show. He's on vacation. Ray Meister's sitting in. And some of the stories we're watching for you at KFI. Famed mountain lion P22 has been found in the backyard of a Los Feliz home. Wanted for evaluation after allegedly attacking a couple of dogs out on walks. And the reports are P22 is in stable condition and undergoing evaluation to see if there's any medical care that might help him. And I don't know if you missed it. A lot of people did. The Queen Mary is open again to the public after over 2 years. It was closed because of the pandemic and also for some needed repairs. Mayor Long Beach says he's thrilled to welcome visitors back and celebrate free guided tours for you on certain days for a limited time starting December 15th, 22nd, 23rd, and then into January. If you've never been or you want to see what they've done to it, it is open again. Also open, a cell door in the Bahamas for the head of FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, who was arrested by authorities there at the request of the United States and will almost certainly be extradited here to the U.S. to face a minimum of two things. One, an indictment out of New York, which we're waiting for that to be unsealed this morning and see what all the specifics are that they're alleging. And also the SEC has prepared some civil charges against Mr. Bankman-Fried. All of it for the FTX debacle, which I think the best way is to describe it by way of an analogy. You have a bank, and you put your money in the bank, and then they take your money and they invest it in ostrich farms that failed, except nobody ever told you they were going to do that. Now, what happened here is it's all cryptocurrency. And cryptocurrency is the new frontier of fraud. Even though the people who love crypto will tell you about how it's so safe and there's so much transparency because of the community oversight of the cryptocurrency by virtue of the blockchain, where basically everybody in the world can be an accountant or an auditor. And everybody can see the same information about who has how much of what crypto. And that way, you always know where your crypto is. And if you go to buy something with crypto, everybody's going to confirm that you have enough crypto. So it was first being touted as being safe, really safe, safer than anything, even though, stop for a second, think about it. Think about what you're doing. How in the world could it be the safest thing financially? Money that is all electronic and that exists only online in a weird, impenetrable system. Of course it's not safe. And here's the other thing too. Crypto is simply not immune from good old criminal minds. So they would take investors into their exchange, FTX, and then without telling them, they would take a lot of that money and move it over to a different company that they had called Alameda Research, which was a trading firm, and they made a lot of bets and they lost. And so Bankman-Fried, this 30-year-old wonder kid, is facing charges of wire fraud and conspiracy and securities fraud, conspiracy and money laundering. And it's a lot of money. We're talking about billions of dollars. So he's in big trouble. And we'll know a little more when the indictments are sealed. And if you're wondering, can he somehow get out of having to come to the United States to answer these charges, the answer is I don't see how. Because we have an agreement with the Bahamas, and this is what the agreement says. If they have somebody and we want them, they will give that person to us as long as the thing we want them for is punishable by at least a year here in the United States and in the Bahamas. So they're not going to extradite somebody for jaywalking. And if we have something here that's a big crime, serious crime, but it's not a crime in the Bahamas, or it's not a serious crime in the Bahamas, they might not send the person to us. But yes, fraud is a big deal in the Bahamas, just like it is here. So it meets the criteria, and he will be back here. I don't think it's going to take very long. And then we'll see even more about how this guy ripped off all those people. Allegedly. He says he was just unbelievably incompetent. When we come back, hate crime data being reported now by the FBI, but it is wildly incomplete, and it's the FBI's fault, I think. KFI 8640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Here's Jennifer Jones-Lee live, KFI 24-hour newsroom.
With Title 42 about to end, Homeland Security officials are preparing a new program to replace the role of the policy it was enacted during the pandemic to prevent the spread of COVID-19 by blocking immigrants at the border. More details are expected today on a major nuclear fusion breakthrough that could be a step forward in increasing clean energy sources. And director James Cameron missed the premiere last night in LA of Avatar's sequel after catching COVID-19. So now weather from KFI, partly cloudy day ahead, and it's going to be cool though. Temperatures are just going to be in the low to mid 50s, drop to the 40s overnight, more sunshine and highs around 60 tomorrow. This report is brought to you by your Staples stores. From Southern California, Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, let's go places like the 605.
Well, I'm going to focus on this one big problem now. Long time delays and distance as well. Listen up. Northbound 605, a little bit past Washington. Most of the freeway is shut down now. Fire department's leaving right now, so that's a good sign. But the backup, wow, it's all the way, it's solid to the 105, going through the 105 right now. Now, it depends where you are, of course, but using Pioneer or especially Norwalk Boulevard, just follow that. Even with the lights, it's still in pretty good shape. You can get on the North 605, a little bit north of Washington at Whittier, and be on your way. It'll save you a whole bunch of time. The backup now is it's good for 4 or 5 miles. Even southbound, be careful now. Coming away from the 60s, a lot of storm coming down. Once you get past this, you'll be okay. Look it up, 5091. We got some problems around the 55 coming up. Jump bar, KFI in the sky.
The Light Source Whole House Water Filtration System, and I have one at home, is very simply the best system I've ever had, and I've had plenty. What it does is connect directly to your plumbing from the outside. So as the water goes inside the house, it is highly filtered, great tasting, and obviously very safe water. Every tap, every faucet in your house produces this water. You're bathing, you're cleaning, you're cooking, you're doing your clothes, you're doing dishes with bottled quality water. And what a cup of coffee it makes, too. No maintenance of any kind ever. No filters to change, no salt to add, no monthly service. Once it's installed, you can forget it's never there. And until December 31st, LifeSource will pay your sales tax with their best deal of the year. Call 800-803-2696. 800-803-2696. Visit LifeSourceWater.com. LifeSource Water, taste and feel the difference.
Staples has you covered for all your custom printing just in time for the holidays. And right now at Staples, you can save 40% on custom holiday cards and invitations. Offer valid in-store and online events 12/17. Exclusion and restrictions apply. Explore more at Staples, the working and learning store. This report is sponsored by Active 6.
Has your household been hit with COVID-19? Learn about a research study from the comfort of home. We are looking at ways to help people with COVID-19 feel better faster. Learn more at active6study.org/radio. That's ACTIV6study.org/radio.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum 2022 tax deduction and a vacation voucher. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's the last chance to donate for 2022.
Guys, 2022 is in a roller coaster year. So spoil her this Christmas by giving her the next best thing to wearing nothing at all. With soft, silky, naturally new pajamas, exclusively from Pajamagram. Sensuous and smooth, naturally new pajamas feel just like her own bare skin, even more alluring than lingerie. The texture and touch of these pajamas is so seductive that you both love the feel of them. She'll love the feeling of wearing next to nothing at all, and you'll love the way they look. Best of all, Pajamagram does the wrapping for you with free gift packaging. Order today, and Pajamagram will also include a free matching naturally nude nightie with the purchase of naturally nude pajamas. That is free gift packaging and a free naturally nude nightie when you order today. Just go to Pajamagram.com. It's fast, easy, and delivery by Christmas is guaranteed. That's Pajamagram.com.
It's the baby. Feel good for the holidays with Christmas music playing now on iHeartRadio's Coast 103.5.
The ignorant voters lost the propaganda that, oh, it's for the roads. If you pull back on the gas taxes, the roads will suffer. This is nonsense. It's so awful. You have been paying extra taxes for 17 years. John and Ken, and all that money has gone for nothing. I gave it to you. So what's the point of this? On KFI. 72, and a lot of them don't understand that that's coming. Now, at least one city, Long Beach, has said they are not going to shut down food vendors right away when this law takes effect on January 1st. They're going to have, and they haven't said how long it'll be, a period of time where they educate the street vendors about the requirements rather than simply shut them down. Hate crime data is out from the FBI, and it says that hate crimes went down. The total number of hate crimes reported for 2021 was less than 2020. 2020 there were more than 8,000. 2021 there were a little over 7,300, and there's zero reason to celebrate about it because we don't know if hate crimes really went down or not. We know that the hate crimes reported went down, but we also know that the reporting of hate crimes went down. In fact, the reporting of a lot of crime statistics went down significantly last year. In 2020, 93% of the law enforcement agencies in this country reported hate crime data, and for 2021 it was just 65%. So you probably, like me, were wondering why? That's a steep drop-off all of a sudden. Why? Well, the FBI got rid of the SRS system, the summary reporting system. And this was a monthly tally of crimes by category. And you had pretty high clients with reporting that information because it wasn't a lot of information and it wasn't super difficult for a law enforcement agency to gather that information and report it. And the FBI got rid of that SRS and they introduced the NIMRS, the National Incident-Based Reporting System. And this requires the law enforcement agencies to get really detailed, very granular. So it wouldn't just say we had 10 aggravated assaults and we had 15 robberies. This is obviously super small town we're talking about now. And we had, one sexual assault, we had 14 burglaries. Now, if you're going to report the crime stats, you're supposed to include things like information about the victims, information about the relationship between the victim and the offender, including relatives, domestic partners, strangers, rival gang members, and the property that was involved in crime. So you couldn't just say we had 15 grand larcenies. You're supposed to say, oh, we had 15 grand larcenies and 2 of them were cars and 1 of them was a bracelet. And so a lot of smaller agencies said, forget it, we're done. We don't have time for this. And they don't have to report anything. Only federal law enforcement agencies have to report the crime stats. And all your state, your local, and county agencies, they don't have to if they don't want to. There's no penalty. And so a lot of them didn't. And you can certainly understand small town police departments, rural county sheriff's offices, they don't have a ton of people. And when they looked at all this extra information that the FBI was asking for, they understandably said, we just don't have anybody who can take all the time to gather that, so we're not going to report anymore. But, and this is what really contributes to the hate crime stats not meaning anything, also major cities didn't report hate crime data. LA did not submit any hate crime data to the FBI. New York didn't either. There's your city number 1 and city number 2. Miami didn't send any. Then you have another interesting phenomenon. Other big cities like Chicago and Phoenix, they did submit the information and they reported zero hate crimes. Now, some say that's implausible. There's no way there were no hate crimes in Chicago or Phoenix. I don't know though, because there's another problem that makes hate crime data not that useful. And that is, let's set aside the issue that you've got a lot of state and local law enforcement agencies don't have to report anything. You also have the fact that a lot of hate crimes are not reported. It's one of the crime categories that is most underreported by the victims. And then you have a third problem, by the the way, and that is, what's a hate crime? Because we're talking about hard statistics here, but there's really no objective criteria to define hate crimes. Yes, I can tell you that, as a general idea, a hate crime is a crime motivated by someone's prejudice or bias against a race or a gender or a gender identity or a disability or an ethnicity or a religion or a sexual orientation. But motivation is always very subjective. Now, somebody attacks somebody on the street, and unless they, while they're attacking the person, say, I'm attacking you because you are Sikh and I hate the Sikhs, unless that happens, you're left to try to intuit whether the motivation was bias against the group or some other thing, or partly bias against the group, but also some other reason. And just because there's bias present doesn't mean necessarily it's a hate crime. So it's all very messy, and we might close our heads and say maybe we shouldn't even be trying to keep track of this stuff. It seems very complicated. We're not requiring agencies to report it in the first place, so what's the point? And there are some benefits to getting that information if you can get valid information. It can help law enforcement figure out what issues to address in their communities. It can give legislators justification for certain laws that they want to pass in looking for this data. It can help the media credibly report on the hate crime situation. And researchers can use this information to determine trends that are going on. But it's very complicated, and there's currently no requirement that a law enforcement agency that gets federal funding participate in this reporting. There are some people in Congress who want to make that happen. If you want any federal money for your rural sheriff's office or your small town police department, you better report hate crime data collection, or else you're not going to get that money. And whether or not that will pass Congress is impossible. That's what's happening. Let's get some news from Jennifer Jones, and then she's great. We're going to talk to ABC News contributor Shelley about this. Both big political parties now are eating themselves alive. It's just for different reasons. Get into why. Get a find at 6:45 everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Here's Jennifer Jones Lee live from the KFI Central area. A woman school psychologist has sued the LA school district. The woman says she was forced to resign last year from rally calls due to her frustration over seeing too many minority students being embedded in special ed programs for unjustified reasons and for hearing insensitive remarks by administrators. She filed a lawsuit last week for allegations include long-term constructive termination, whistleblower retaliation, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. A representative to the district stated yesterday saying the district hasn't been served with this lawsuit or done comments on pending or ongoing litigation. Deborah Morris, KFI News. News is brought to you by veteran-owned SemperPolaris.com. The chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee says he plans to question the director of the Federal Bureau of Prisons about an AP investigation. The bounty agency has repeatedly promoted and continues to stand by a high-ranking official who beat black inmates in the 1990s. The committee will also look into allegations of the sexual abuse of inmates at a federal women's prison in Dublin. Firefighters in Covina found about 400 marijuana plants inside a house that caught fire. Firefighters went into defensive mode after blaze shot through the roof of the house yesterday. A spokesperson says sheriff's deputies responded to the scene, but no arrests have been made. The Biden administration is ramping up efforts to get Paul Whelan out of prison in Russia. ABC Mary Bruce says pressure is growing on the Biden administration to bring Whelan, who is a former Marine, in prison.
Moscow once stated a request for the release of the Russian official, a brave and Russian assassin currently serving a life sentence in Germany. But what's Germany's decision to make?
Bruce says the administration saying it won't change its stance on Ukraine to win Whelan's freedom. The U.S. says Whelan is in jail on bogus espionage charges. The Kremlin says Russian President Putin will skip this year's annual Marathon News Conference. Putin hasn't missed one in 10 years. A Kremlin spokesperson didn't offer an explanation. Commentators have suggested that Putin doesn't want to answer questions about the full performance of the Russian army in Ukraine. And Americans have named dissatisfaction with the government as the nation's top problem. A new Gallup poll shows an average of 19% of people with some aspect of the government as the most important problem facing the country in 2022. The government edges out inflation and outpaces the economy in general. Americans also listed immigration, COVID-19, race relations, and crime as top issues. So now weather from KFI. Looks like temperatures will be just in the low to mid-50s today. Partly cloudy conditions will drop into the 40s, and it looks like maybe some upper 30s overnight again. Then for tomorrow, more sunshine headed our way, and highs will be right around 60. Next chance at a possible shower, and a very slight chance comes in Friday night into Saturday. Let's get a look at your drive with BKFI in the sky. This time we're checking the 5.
Well, we got a lot of stuff to warn you about here this morning. Number one, let's tackle the 5, the all-important route coming out of Buena Park to the north. That new section is in pretty good shape, although it's going to go real slow before the 605. Most of the problem stop is a north 605 issue, but I'll tell you about that in a second. As you keep going north 5, slow on Lakewood Road, and then after that, the rural fairly okay drive up to East LA, at least meaning all lanes are open. Now back with the 605, we're heading back there right now, but it was northbound 605 right at Washington. Bunch of us were blocked with a solid backup going through the 105, almost going back towards 91. Now right now, another serious problem is for westbound 91 coming to York and then the Imperial Highway. Is the 3 right lanes that are blocking a massive backup all the way through, or should they add into a very tough drive and going to the 50. Very disappointing. Still good. Got lots to go. Jeff Paul, AFI in the style. Termites over this virtually all the time. Southern California termite central. Not a question of if, it's a question of when. So let's say you're under your holiday ornaments in the garage in the attic next to the basement bugs and probably groups of started insect meetings, like small piles of sawdust, bottom of the baseboard, termites, all of them. Those guys, free home inspection. And even if you don't think you have termites, they'll give you a free home inspection, certain restrictions apply. And even if you don't know or think you have termites, they'll give you a call. If you can kill termites, there's no tenting, no double bagging your food, no pet sitting. You can still be home when they do their work. Call 800 Pacific, 800 Pacific. Visit PacificCoastTermites.com. Call 800 Pacific.
Friendly.
This holiday season, gift your home limited fall with a not very long season pass. $1 million tickets now and all through 2023. A not very long season pass is really the gift that keeps on giving. Whether it's 3 times 3 more than very flexible. Whether it's simple like you want, it's the military. All done on not season farms, this is the morning farms, or all of the above and more. Experience it all with a not very long season pass. Check out season pass on various at not.com.
Yeah, and so anyway, I went out to the Grossman Bird Center, and they said, okay, we got to meet you right now. And I said, well, my wife doesn't know anything about this. You know, I said, I got to go home first. And they go, well, you can't go home. You're the 3rd-degree burn. I said, no, I'm not there, right? So I drove home, and I spent the night here with my wife, and then I drove to the burn center early in the morning. But my face stuck to the pillow.
Oh,
so
my God.
That was shit.
Buddy, you must have been in tremendous pain, and you took no painkillers.
Not as much as listening to this show, but yes. You know, it's all relative. I'm not a pain. I'm not a painkiller guy. I mean, I think pain is a.
But you don't have to be a painkiller guy, a pain pill kind of guy to take a pain pill when you're on fire.
No, nobody likes whiny celebrities complaining about pain.
All right. So you go to the burn center, and they were pretty cool to you, but that must have driven you crazy to stay in the same room for 10 days.
No, it was all right. It wasn't bad. I mean, I didn't have any alternative. You're in that hyperbolic chamber thing, which is actually a glass coffin. And the hysterical thing about it is they put you in there and they seal it up. Okay, so they pump in the hyperbaric, whatever. And the glass is like an inch thick, so you're lying there, and people are walking by, you know. And I said, well, let me get their attention. And I can't really knock on the window because it's getting hot. Because my hand is burned, so I'm like trying to knock with my elbow. And of course, the people I look at you just walking by, I'm like, you know, I'm trying to get, something wrong like this, you know. No, but it was okay. You know, they were great out there. They're really terrific folks.
How long? When they put you in that chamber for how long a period? Like 45 minutes at a time, 3 times a day?
No, it's probably 4 hours a day, all told.
I heard that you were in, you know, in not, you know, terminal, but in such bad shape that Dave Letterman even called you. Is that true?
Well, no, I got a nice note from Dave, but no, you didn't call me.
Oh, I see. Well, you get
I don't know. What you hear, I think you have the same call as the Enquirer. Like the National Enquirer said I was in the hospital because Nancy Pelosi hit me in the head with a hammer. And I had to explain, no, that's not what happened.
We heard the other late-night hosts from history were beginning to circle, so we thought we were worried about you.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, the most expensive part of this whole thing was paying for the gasoline that hit me in the face.
Come on, that's Jay Leno. He did that. I'll bet you did that in Hermosa. I like that line.
Who's the most
That's not a bad line.
Who's the most famous celebrity that reached out to you?
Huh?
Who's the most famous celebrity that reached out to you?
You know, Russell Crowe called me from Australia. Tom Selleck sent me a nice big thing of flowers, you know. It was nice. It was like one of those mob things. Here's something to do. You know, so that was good. You know, I heard from Wanda Sykes, you know, Seinfeld. I mean, everybody. All the, it was great. It was great. I didn't hear from anybody at KFI. Yeah,
That's true. I
I
texted you.
understand they have a no reach out policy.
That's true. You know what? I'm not the kind of guy. Look, when my dad was in the hospital at St. John's in Santa Monica, by the way, I went to visit him, and I
That was
walked.
very nice of you.
Thank you. I walked in the hospital. He says, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "I'm come to visit my dad. He's in the hospital." He said, "What did I tell you at the track?" I said, "You told me a lot of things at the track. You got to narrow it down." And he said, "I told you, if I'm ever in the hospital, don't come visit me. I'm trying to get better, and I don't want to sit around and entertain you or your sister."
Well, there you go. Well, that's a close-knit family.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
And so I said, "Okay, I'll leave in about 10 minutes." He goes, No. Out.
Wow.
He was really angry that day. But he was in a lot of pain. I don't blame him. You know, when you're in a lot of pain, you don't want people to come by and visit you.
Yeah, well, I didn't mind. It was okay.
And did people, I know your wife was there. Did she pull a bed into the room and stay with you the whole time?
Yeah, that was fun. Mara stayed with me the whole time. So we had a good time. We watched TV and stuff. Oh, and the fact that I came out of the hospital with fewer wrinkles, full lips, and a tighter butt, that's just a coincidence, okay? That had nothing to do with anything.
Wait, you didn't have the move to tell her to not to put the bed in the room and you got to go home and watch the dogs?
Well, I don't have any dogs, so I'm fine.
You should have got a dog real quick.
But the nice thing is, I'm one of the new faces of comedy again. So that's
I also heard that you had to cancel a Flappers appearance and you felt bad about that.
Well, I did. I called them like right after I got there. Because I figured, oh, this is good. I looked in the mirror like a minute after it happened. Like, well, that's not too bad. But then it started getting redder and redder. I'm going, oh, this is not good. And so I had to cancel Flappers that night.
Did they put skin graft? They take skin from other parts of your body and put it on your arm and your face?
No, what I had, you know, I got a good deal on skin grafts. I have a friend of mine who's a mohel, and he had a bag of them. Oh boy! And he gave me those, and I put them on my arm. But when I get excited, I can't put my arm down. Hey, thank you. We'll be here all week. Thank you. No, actually, what we did was we took skin from dead comedians. My whole left arm is red button.
That's classic. Man, you've got a whole new career.
Hey, I'll tell you right now. We're doing 2 shows, regular and extra crispy. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
When he did his first show, when you did your first show, I think, you were surrounded by all this media as you went into the club. And I thought, this is going to be, I mean, there's just so much here, because you were already like firing off a couple on the way into the club. And it just had to be a whole little chunk for you, a whole new chunk.
Well, I mean, it was fun because, look, nobody wants to see some whiny celebrity complain. You know, something, I grew up in a little town in New England And when you go up in a little town, you think, rich people don't have any problems, all right? Because most people think whatever problem they have could be fixed for an extra 50 or 100 grand a year. Right. And they would have no problems at all. So when you're fairly successful and people know you have some money, they don't want to hear you whine and complain about stuff. So you make jokes and you tease about it because, you know, in the real world, people have injuries like that every day. Anybody who works with their hands suffers these kind of injuries, cut hands or burns or whatever it might be. So it's just a good reminder, and I think it keeps you grounded. You know, I didn't mind it as much. You know, it wasn't a broken leg where I'd be stuck hobbling around for 8 weeks or 16 weeks. You know, it's a burn, and okay, so you just push through it and you move on.
Let me ask you a car question. Getting back to what you know probably better than anybody I know. The starter on my, I guess there's 24 coils on my starter and like 6 of them are burned out. So if it just clicks and it doesn't turn over, I got to go under the car with a hammer and bang on the starter until it moves around to another coil. Is that bad?
Well, no, not technically. What you just have a dead spot on the starter.
Right.
Okay, was the car stick or automatic?
Automatic.
Okay, yeah, well, you know, this happened once. I was on a jet, a private jet with some people. And the guy said, we're having a hard time, we can't get the starter to spin on the engine. I said, you got a hammer. And the guy said, what? I said, come on back. So we go back, we open it up. I bang on it twice. I said, try it now. I said, it's spinning. I let it start.
Oh my God.
So people up there go, we're not flying. I go, guys, once it's running, it's running. It's not gonna, it's just a flat spot on an armature. Anybody knows what that is, knows it's not that serious. No, we're not going. So I said, okay, guys, I'm going back to L.A. You want to come over? Go tomorrow. So I go back, and I was fine. I had no complaint to myself. It was fabulous.
That's awesome. To see you, what a picture of him banging on that jet engine with that hammer.
But I just tap on it twice. You know, electricity is something people really don't understand. And it doesn't take much to kind of confuse people with it. So if you just tap on it, okay, and you just move something a little bit, okay, now you're fine.
Yeah. And that's how they got that fusion reactor going.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that.
With a hammer.
Just a couple taps.
Jay, I'm so glad you're better. Please be careful because, man, we need you around. You're the funniest guy, whoever calls us, whoever's on the show, so please.
Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. And I thank you for your non-concern. I really appreciate it.
Thank you,
The
Jay.
best,
And I
Jay.
love the fact you thought about calling. That was great. I love the fact that I have to set myself on fire to get on KFI.
That's awesome, man. All right. Jay Leno,
I'm on the Today Show tomorrow with Otis. See you tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow. Tomorrow the Today Show. Jay Leno. That's
And I'll be
great.
at the Comedy Magic Club on Sunday. Thank you.
Yeah, that was really cool for him to call us.
He was truly on fire.
Oh, man. I mean, the material he's going to get out of this is great.
Yeah, that's great.
Not a whole new career.
He was on fire.
He was on fire. Got it.
Oh, man.
Got it.
Dude, that is sensational. But he actually was on fire. Are you reading the news?
That's why it's funny, Tim.
There you go. All right, it's Conway Show. Thompson's here. We're live on KFI. More now with George Carlin on the KFI Newsroom.
A man's been sentenced to 12 years in prison after pleading guilty to shooting at a convenience store clerk in Garden Grove and a 7-Eleven in Fountain Valley last November within days apart. No one was injured. The Biden administration is expected to approve sending Patriot missiles to Ukraine. The surface-to-air system would be the most advanced weapon system sent to Ukraine. Yes. And Twitter CEO Elon Musk has dissolved his Trust and Safety Council for Twitter. That's the independent advisory group that was formed to deal with hate speech, child exploitation, and other problems on the social media app. We'll check the 60s freeway next.
All right, last couple of things. Years have taught us one thing. It's the value of the things we can control. And this new year, addressing hair loss, no exception. My friends at Advanced Hair Restoration to reverse years and even decades of hair loss with the same simple one-day treatment they did for me. Real natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and it's all backed by that Advanced Hair Guarantee. It works for bald spots, receding hairlines, thinning hair, men, women, younger, wiser. Of course, it works for me. So, the top-rated physicians at Advanced Hair have changed the lives of tens of thousands of people. And now it's your turn. Schedule your free consultation by phoning them up, 844-333-HAIR, and to celebrate the new year, special financing. 250 free hair grafts and $250 off. That's a BG. Value things you can control. Start regrowing your own natural hair today. 844-333-HAIR or become inspired with the before and after photos at advancedhair.com.
From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, let's go places. There's a crash in East LA.
This one's on the 60 eastbound coming up on Downey Road. Left lane's blocked, sending you back off the 101. Also, as you make your way through Anaheim Hills, 91 eastbound, Gypsum Canyon Road. It's a crash that landed in fast track lanes, and traffic's pretty jammed all the way from the 57 freeway. Stalled out truck, it looks like, in the Cajon Pass, the 15 northbound before Cleghorn. Middle lane is blocked, and traffic's pretty loaded away from Kenwood. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Angel Martinez.
Hey, this is Lincoln Kennedy. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Merrill, a Bank of America company.
It'll be a second straight start for quarterback Baker Mayfield when the Rams take on the Packers in Week 15. John Wolford continues to be bothered by a neck injury. The Lakers face the Eastern Conference leading Celtics. One half of the World Cup final is set after Argentina dominated Croatia thanks to Lionel Messi scoring on a penalty kick and assisting on another goal. They'll play Wednesday's France-Morocco winner next. I'm Frank Aaron. With Merrill, the bull always has your back. Learn more at ml.com/bullish. Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Spencer, and Smith Incorporated, registered broker-dealer, registered investment advisor, member SIPC. This report is sponsored by Yamama Resort and Casino at San Manuel. With a unique blend of soul and funk, Tower of Power will bring their brass-driven music to Yamama Theater February 11th. Come hear signature hits like You're Still a Young Man and What Is Hip. Get your tickets today at YamamaTheater.com or at the casino box office. Tower of Power, live at Yamama Theater February 11th. Must be 21 to enter.
You wouldn't leave your health to chance. Doesn't your financial well-being deserve the same care and attention? It's time to get a complimentary wealth checkup from Edelman Financial Engines. We're Barron's #1 rated independent financial advisory firm 5 years running. So you can be confident you're getting integrated wealth management advice, including tax planning, estate planning, insurance, and more from an experienced and trusted investment advisory firm. Take advantage of a complimentary wealth checkup with a planner who puts your needs first. There's no sales pressure and no obligation. Just trusted guidance to help get your investment goals back into focus. When it comes to your financial well-being, you can count on the top-rated independent financial advisory firm in the nation. Visit Edelman Financial Engines at EFEWealthPlanners.com. That's EFEWealthPlanners.com. Barron's rating awarded annually each September 2018 to 2022. Compensation paid for distribution of rating.
On the True Crime Reality Podcast, you'll hear the stars of shows like Real Housewives and The Bachelor talk about their encounters with mysterious people and bizarre crimes. Turns out reality is a lot stranger than fiction.
I'm Kayla Miller-Keys, and on my new podcast, I will be joined by reality TV stars as they dive deep into the details of a crime they have a direct connection to. The who, the what, the why, and the what were they thinking.
Listen to True Crime Reality on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I'm still mad at timeshare companies. For over a decade, I've been fighting to clean up the timeshare industry by getting folks out bad timeshares. But after all those battles, I'm still asking, how do they sell timeshares for $25,000 when they're available online for only $1? Here's how they do it. They lie. They tell you timeshares are a great investment. You can go anywhere, anytime, or your maintenance fees will never go up. Everything they do to get you to sign is part of a well-planned trap. If you've ever been held hostage at a timeshare presentation and bought, Wesley Financial Group is here to help. To date, we've canceled timeshares for over 16,000 families. I guarantee you this. If we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare cancellation guide. 800-887-1010. That's 800-887-1010. 800-887-1010.
It's time to celebrate the holidays and each other safely. No matter what's going on out there, in here your loved ones are protected. Trust the pros at Play to keep all surfaces clean, sanitized, and safe this holiday season. From your carpet to your makeup to your upholstery and more. We'll help keep your home healthy for the holidays. Call 800-4-QUIT today and save 40%.
The 12th annual KFI Bustathon is in the books. The actual total right now, $1,313,683 and 47,718 pounds of food. The Catarina Club.
Hello everybody, Bruno, Chef on Catarina Club. I want to thank everybody who donated for the children they need feed. For the past 17 years, Bustathon has been the best for Catarina's Club. I mean, anyone on K5 Radio. Thank you, grazie, for all the children who need 8 million meals that you serve so far up to date. Grazie, grazie, grazie.
Thank you. KFI, AM 640.
More stimulating talk.
We're on that iHeartRadio app. Look at that. Oh, iHeartMedia app?
iHeartRadio app.
What is it?
iHeartRadio.
iHeartMedia app or iHeartRadio app? What is it?
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio app. Okay. I should know. But Mark Thompson just told me a great story. He tried to get Jay Leno on your show.
Yeah, and,
on KTO.
On KTO, now I do the show on YouTube. We encourage everybody to check it out from 10 to noon every day. It's live. You go subscribe, and then you can never check it out again, or you can check it out. But yes, when it was on KTO, I contacted Jay, and I said,
and you've known him for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I've known him really, most recently and most closely through this station, right? It's Review.
Okay.
So I texted him. I said, yeah, can I answer a question about going on the radio in San Francisco? And he called me. And he said, what's up? And I said, well, I want to know if you would do my show in San Francisco 10 a.m. here. Oh, no, I didn't tell him the time. I said, my show in San Francisco, I'm on every day. And he said, sure. And I said, well, it's a message. It said, it's in the morning. And I guess I can get it on early, like 10:07. And this is what news and stuff, and having to hold, like, wait through the news. So I was in a band, I guess, like that. I said, great, let's do it tomorrow. So, as I decided to confirm that Jay's going to be on tomorrow, first thing I thought, I had a conversation with somebody. Yeah, so we're both going to be, and then, yeah, just get excited, enthusiastic. And so, I don't know what it means, but I just said, keep it, focus on it. Anyway, then he sends a voicemail. I call him and I say, Shay, no, I texted him, so I would be really clear. Just confirming I'll talk to you at 10:07 a.m. Send him that text. Then he calls me and goes, hey, wait a minute, you didn't tell me it was 10. You told me it was a little before 7. I said, no. Jay, I didn't say that. It's a little after 10. It's 10:07. Okay. He said, no, you didn't say that. You said it was 10:07. And then I'm thinking, Mark, you can be right or you can be, polite.
That's correct.
And he said, and I said, well, then I did that thing where I go, well, if I said that, knowing I didn't say that, but because the show's on from 10 to noon. I said, if I said that, I said it in error. I'm so sorry. He said, well, I'm doing You Bet Your Life. I got to do it saving to that. And so we just never got it together because of that.
Do you think it's possible that you messed up, like you also messed up going to Katarina's Club a week early?
I don't think it, in this case, I think it was a case that we just heard it wrong.
Me?
Yeah. But you would concede, you're saying, as a witness, you're asking me to concede that I've made a mistake before.
That's exactly right.
I think he got 10:07,
Did he call
you? got 10 of 7 out of 10 of 7.
Did he call you on the way to Caterina's Club?
Jay, I'm going down to Caterina's Club. You want to come down? I think it's a week early. you're a week too soon.
It's going show with Mark Thompson on KFI AM 640. Jay Leno call.
Oh, yeah.
What you need to know, and when you need to know it.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Looking for a little assistance. I'm Michael Crozier, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Santa Ana police are asking for help finding the person who killed a mother with a stray bullet during a drive-by shooting.
We do believe it could be gang-related.
Santa Ana Police Sergeant Maria Lopez says the family had just left church, stopped at a store, and as Maria Moro was coming out, that's when her husband heard gunshots.
He saw her smile, and then immediately kind of drops her bag, and that's when she starts to back from screaming, and she realized she'd been shot.
Surveillance video shows the shooter got out from a white car earlier this month to target 2 teens who were walking. The mother died Friday. A GoFundMe has been set up for the family. In Santa Ana, Corbin Carson, KFI News.
This report brought to you by Rooter Hero. Santa Ana has its first female mayor. Valerie Mesqua was set to be sworn in tonight during the city council meeting. She's the first woman to lead Santa Ana in the city's 153-year history. LA City Councilman Kevin De Leon appeared on CNN. He apologized again for the racist comments he made about Councilmember Mike Bonnet's son, who was black.
I should have said, I apologize for that. Inartful way of criticizing then Council President woman, Maria Martinez, for pension for luxury handbags.
De Leon refused to resign from the LA City Council and continues to collect his annual salary of nearly $229,000. A wildlife rehab center in Wisconsin says a bald eagle that was shot on private properties died during surgery to treat his injuries. The adult male bird was found last week with broken beak, fractured bone, and injured wing. Police are still looking for the person who shot the eagle. Bald eagles have been federally protected since 1940. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service says hurting or killing an eagle can result in a $100,000 fine and a year in prison.
Today's a good day.
President Biden has signed the Respect for Marriage Act into law. It protects same-sex and interracial marriage. Outgoing House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says it's about respect.
This is about taking pride. About taking pride. And it's about time that we do so at the federal level.
States are not required to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples, but they're required to recognize marriages performed in other parts of the country. Singer and LGBTQ activist Cyndi Lauper celebrated Biden signing the bill.
We can rest easy tonight because our families are validated and because now we're allowed to love who we love.
Lauper also thanked Biden and all the people who worked on the bill for allowing people and their children to not worry about their future. The Kremlin says Russian President Putin will skip this year's annual marathon news conference. Putin has missed one in 10 years. The Kremlin spokesperson did not offer an explanation. Commentators have suggested Putin does not want to answer questions about the poor performance of the Russian army in Ukraine. And New Zealand has passed a lifetime ban on the sale of tobacco to anyone born on or after January 1st, 2009. The law is part of a plan to phase out tobacco smoking in upcoming generations. Health authorities in New Zealand say they hope the country will be smoke-free by 2025. The law also reduces the number of retailers allowed to sell tobacco and decreases the amount of nicotine allowed in tobacco that is smoked. The Associate Minister of Health says there's no good reason to sell a product that kills half the people who use it. We'll check the 110 freeway next.
All right, let's talk about Roundtree Gardens. Looking a place for mom or dad, maybe grandma or grandpa, and they've been very cool to you your whole life. It's your turn to be very cool to them. And go to Roundtree Gardens. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So Roundtree Gardens, they're the best senior living community, best place I've ever seen. And they have everything there you need. The place is huge. It's like living in a park surrounded by huge trees and gardens. The cottages and apartments are spacious and pristine. And the food, resort-class style menus and dining rooms are delicious. But the biggest reason is the staff. Yeah, they're caring, compassionate, and committed. So whether your loved one can live independently, or they need assisted living, or skilled nursing, Roundtree offers a wide range of care. Roundtree Gardens, they know what you're going through, and it's the right place for someone you love. They can help you out. Visit them at Roundtree Gardens, it's ROWNTREE, RoundTreeGardens.com. RoundTreeGardens.com.
Mostly clear out there tonight, around 40 degrees. Sunny tomorrow and still cool, maybe a degree or two warmer. Highs around 50 at the beaches, around 60 Metro LA, Orange County, mid-50s inland up higher in the valleys, except for the Antelope Valley where the high tides will be around 50. A degree or two warmer after that, getting through the weekend. Right now in Fountain Valley, 49, Lake Forest, 47, Marina Del Rey, 50, Manhattan Beach, 48 degrees. Your KFI Money report today, Dow up 104, NASDAQ up 113, S&P up 29. The average price of regular gas in California, $4.51 a gallon. Crash downtown.
On the 110 freeway southbound at Olympic, the right lane is blocked. Delays are backing up away from Academy Road. In Torrance, a wreck for the 405 north side of Western. 2 middle lanes is where it landed, and traffic's pretty jammed up away from Main Street out of Carson. Also in Anaheim Hills, 91 eastbound just past Gypsum Canyon Road. They're clearing a wreck out of the fast track lanes, and traffic's been pretty slow moving still from the 57 freeway. In the Tunnel Pass, stalled car. This is on the 15 northbound before Cleghorn. Middle lane is blocked. Delays are jammed off of the 215 merge. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Rachel Martinez.
What's the best side effect office here? Oh, that's easy. Salon Top pain relieving patches. The proven medicine in Salon Top patches reduce my pain and let me do the things I need to do every day.
In a recent clinical study, patients using Salon Pods reported improved sleep, mood, and the ability to work. They had less pain and were able to reduce their use of oral pain medications.
For pain, I use Salon Top. It's good medicine.
We put all your music radio stations and podcasts in one easy-to-use app, and we made it completely free because, well, let's face it, you have other things to do with your money. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. This is Jacob Emrani. If you've been in an accident, call 844-24-JACOB.
KFI.
More stimulating talk.
An iHeart radio station.
Yeah, later.
We heard everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. Jay Leno called us. That's kind of cool, right? Jay Leno.
Super fun.
Yeah. Before he does any of the TV interviews.
Yeah.
You know, he's going on tomorrow with Hoda.
Hold on, Today Show. Yes,
He's got
Scoop Hoda.
NBC Nightly this evening, so you scoop that.
That's wild, man. Yeah, he's a really good guy. And you know, Jay will never say this. And I don't know if he's ever even mentioned it to anybody that I know of. And nobody, I don't think anybody that I know has even mentioned it. I don't think I've mentioned it on the air. Because I thought it was just such a nice thing for him to do. But when my dad passed away, it was a very private funeral. There was a guest list, and you know, you have to be on that guest list. And Jay Leno personally called me and said, "Hey, I really respect your dad. I'd like to be on that guest list."
Oh, wow.
And he came by and sat there right in our row as you know, just a fan.
Oh, that's really nice. I did not know that.
And didn't go out and tell everybody, and didn't make a big deal out of it. You know, it was a really cool deal.
Yeah, that is very cool.
Really nice guy. So the hour was unbelievable. You know, it started with this anonymous person giving us a check for $100,000 for Caterina's Club. $100,000 donated to Caterina's Club. Isn't that wild?
That's
$100,000
extraordinary. That's
donation.
really extraordinary.
And then to also have Jay Leno on. Man, oh man. That's got... I
finally got that steam power thing explained by the guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was cool. But I would also challenge the rest of LA radio to have a first hour like that.
Yeah.
Where a $100,000 check came in anonymously for a charity, and to have probably the most talked about comic on the show
Maybe the most talked about comic in America over the last 2 weeks. It's got to be.
Agreed.
And Jay Leno. All in 1 hour. That was just the first hour.
Yep.
You know what that means? This next hour is going to be a major letdown.
It's already starting to feel like it, to be honest.
It's got to be.
Yeah. When we start the second hour talking about how great the last hour was.
I would replay the first hour all night and say, hey, Thompson and Conway, you got the night off. Great first hour, but man, you guys are going to be horrible.
That's how good the first hour was, that you could replay it every hour.
Yes, and I think the ratings go through the roof. Except for the people that heard it for the first time and then didn't want to hear it the second, third, or fourth time.
Right.
But we also have we've had reporters, I'm not going to mention who they are, call us to try to get the audio, to use the audio. Throughout Los Angeles. I think it was an international call too. We had an international call.
Yes.
Elio thinks the city of Carson is international for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's right down the freeway. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Carson.
Yeah, it's not Carson,
I got mixed up.
Spain. But I don't know how you beat that.
It was pretty great, Tim. I got to be honest. It was great. I was very happy to be here for it.
But now what do we do? You know? I mean, everything we do now be like, oh, they're doing that.
Not as good as Jay.
Yeah.
Right.
Can you get Jay back on? Elio?
I'll try.
Okay. All right. And here's going to be a perfect example. A check for $100,000 in Jay Leno. What do we do next? We talk about the weather.
It's starting to feel a lot like winter. Earlier this
Doesn't this feel hacky?
No, I don't think it's hackish, Tim. I mean, it's normal.
You think people are affected by this weather?
Yeah, I do.
You think it's cold enough that people should know?
I think it's important, and I think it's your normal stuff which people appreciate.
But it's like going to the moon and then coming back and you go to Denny.
No, it's like going to the moon and coming back, and then you just go to the space station after that. That's really what it's more like.
Okay.
It's starting to feel a lot like winter. Earlier this weekend, it was looking like it as well, with the rain and snow even earlier today. But what we're going to be left with is the cold air that system is leaving behind. That's going to be the big weather story tonight. Headed toward tomorrow, it will be dry and sunny, and then temperatures will be on the upswing as we head toward the middle part and late part of the week. But first, we talk about what's on tap for you.
So, and Mark, look, I don't want to offend you by asking you weather stuff, because that's like...
that's in the rear view, Tim.
That's right.
I've outgrown it.
Right. It was like asking Michael Jordan about finger painting in kindergarten.
Yeah, well, all right.
Okay? You're the Michael Jordan of weather.
Yes, thank you.
But it's cold out because we don't have a lot of cloud cover?
We have an area of high pressure that
Here we go.
dominant. It's dominant